Sudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadhamagyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakammalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajhatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Jajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Badhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गृह उरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुदय देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये मंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Before we begin Nectar of Devotions, we seek our Purvacharya, Srila Prabhupada, and our Acharyas, Guru Maharaj, everybody, so that they have given us this opportunity to go and then read and then understand Nectar of Devotion. Okay, so we need to seek their blessings, their permission to get into this wonderful book called the Nectar of Devotion. Okay, so as we mentioned in the previous unit of Nectar of Instruction, this is again one of the most important books or most important guide and the principles laid down by Rupa Goswami and all the Acharyas. So it's kind of a big compilation, but mainly focused by Rupa Goswami, focusing on devotion service. Okay, so Nectar of Instructions is more of principles laid down of how to do devotion service, following certain criteria, certain principles, certain procedures. Nectar Devotions will give you the explanation or the ways and means by which we'll be able to see what is the devotion service. So when we say devotion service in practice, devotion service in which we are able to do certain actions, devotion service in which we are able to see certain benefits, certain results, certain outcomes. So those are all defined and identified through this Nectar Devotion. Also, the typical ways and means in which we are able to get into pure devotion service. Okay, so that is the ultimate goal of Nectar of Devotion. Okay, Nectar of Devotion is very vast subject. It's not a very simple just direct understandings. Like it has got a very big. So how Rupa Goswami has divided this section is actually into 4 oceans. Okay, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindu. Sindu means ocean. So ideally, from the Acharya's book, it has got 4 different waves. Okay, ocean waves, like east ocean, west, north, and south. It's like very big, but out of which Prabhupada just brings in only one portion of the east, and then within that east, what means certain section alone, he's wanting us, or he is prescribing us to understand and then enjoy the meadows. Okay, so after Prabhupada, I mean, in fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also has given a lot of elaborate commentaries and things. And after Prabhupada also, like for example, His Holiness Balaswami Maharaj and others, they have given very big elaborate topic going into different parts of the ocean, like east part, west part, north part. Also, it's a very big one. So, but however, for us from a syllabus perspective, or for us to get the little bit drop of the ocean, we are just covering only few sections of the ocean part. Okay, so that is what is important. So how do we understand Nectar of Devotion? It is the juice. It is like ocean. Okay, the ocean has limitation, but that is unlimited. Okay, so what is the big difference is Prabhupada is in one of his lectures mentioning. This ocean is unlimited ocean. Typically, ocean also will have some kind of a boundary, but the Bhakti Rasamrita, the Rasa Amrita, the juice is the not just the full flow of juice. It is just the nectar, or the most highly what do you say, concentrated part of the ocean. Okay, so that is what we are trying to understand. Okay, so the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sanskrit word is also we have to understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compared bhakti to a great ocean. Okay, when he was speaking before Rupa Goswami, he said that it's just like ocean. So I take a drop of it and you taste it. Okay, and then you will understand what is this ocean. The small portion of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is bhakti. There is a rasa, there is a taste, and that taste is amritam. Okay, which is eternal. Every service, can somebody read this?
Yes, Prabhu. Every service has some attractive feature which drives the servitor progressively on and on. That force which drives the philanthropist, the householder, and the nationalist is called rasa, or a kind of mellow relationship whose taste is very sweet.
Okay, so how do we understand, for example, a philanthropist, whenever he tries to do some kind of philanthropic activities, even though he is just giving, even though he is just giving out to anybody and everybody, there is some kind of a little satisfaction, a kind of trupti, kind of santushtaha, kind of a feeling which nobody can feel. It's only up to that particular person, right? Similarly, householders, when they do their normal activities and everything, and similarly nationals, like, whenever you have this nationalistic pride, whenever there is this national anthem being sung, or if you see, when you hear anything about India winning this medal, India winning this match, whatever be it, anything related to the portion of having the Indian nationalism or whatever be it, according to different people, different countries, different people have their own sentiments, right? So that sentiment portion is little connected, but at the same time that gives you the taste. Okay, what is the taste? The taste is very, very sweet. Okay, but what is the difference between rasa and bhakti rasa? Yeah, please read from
Amrita. Bhakti rasa, however, the mellow relished in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, does not finish with the end of life. It continues perpetually and is therefore called Amrita, that which does not die but exists eternally.
that is, yeah, this is some specific portions that we are going to see. Yeah, continue, bro. Continue.
Any action performed for the satisfaction of Krishna in this transcendental bhakti rasa stage of life can be relished perpetually. When one is thus engaged in devotional service, all varieties of rasa or mellow turn into eternity.
Okay. So biggest difference between the normal way of rasa or taste is it is limited. It has got its own qualities, own limitations. However, when it comes to bhakti rasa, the biggest difference is bhakti rasa is always eternal. Okay, so that is the most important point. So bhakti rasa is always important, and which is melodious and which will continue eternally. Okay, perpetually return. Okay, so that is the biggest difference that we need to understand. Okay, so maybe we'll just quickly read through the purport, then we will come back to the main preface part, and then we'll come back. Okay. Maybe I'll give you a quick background how and what is the subject portion that we're going to cover. Then maybe we can get into the portion. Okay. Please go through the handbook very thoroughly. Very important, because this will give you the overview. Okay. So from this is page number 79. Okay. So there are totally 19 chapters. Okay, when you see through the Bhakti Vedanta Veda base, it will have a lot of other chapters. But how we are trying to assimilate all the chapters together, certain portions are alone we are going to cover, not the entire portion of Nectar of Devotion, only some specific portion. Okay, so overview, definition of pure devotion service, 6 characteristics of pure devotion service. Before we understand pure devotion service, we need to understand Samanya Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti. So Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, and Raganu Bhakti. So the next portion will come. Okay, independent, how to discharge devotional service, devotional principles, aspects of transcendental service, Raganu Bhakti. Okay, so this is the point. Main thing is the Samanya Bhakti, the Sadhana Bhakti, and Raganu Bhakti. So we will cover in detail about Sadhana Bhakti and to some extent the Raganu Bhakti. So this love of God is the prema, and we will cover this portion. in detail, between 15 to 19 chapters. Okay. So how it is the syllabus is covered is, it's called Lahari. Okay, Lahari is nothing but a set of chapters condensed together. We call it as canto, right? In Bhagavatam we call it as canto. Similarly, certain sections of the poetry or certain section of the entire the knowledge base, they have bring it together. It's called as Lahari. Okay, they call it as Lahari, means a full section, a singing way. Okay? So first portion we'll talk about the preface, the Samanya Bhakti portion, which will have the characteristics of, even though it will have the characteristics of sadhana bhakti, it will just give you what is the definition of it and why we are. This is like giving a condensed form of what is pure devotional service, and then it will go into the details in the next the next chapters. Okay. Then between chapter 16 to chapter 2nd to chapter 16 is the entire sadhana bhakti. Okay. So again, sadhana bhakti is divided into two portions. One is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. So this is again, we have spontaneous devotional service following rules and regulations. Okay. So mostly when we start the Krishna conscious practice, when we start following certain rules and regulations, everybody will follow under the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. So the rules and regulations, the 4 relative principles, and the other instructions that we follow through nectar of instruction, right? So whatever nectar of instruction to an extent where Rupa Goswami gives those recommendations and we have to follow that, all will fall under Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And the last portion of that nectar of instruction will call, when it talks about prema, and then when it talks about ruchi, then the spontaneous devotion service portion will come. Okay. So spontaneous devotion service has to be read after we read the sadhana bhakti. Without reading sadhana bhakti, we will never get into Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Okay. Vaidhi means rules and regulations. So both are to some extent sadhana bhakti, where you follow certain things. We will get to the details little later of how do we really differentiate between Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Okay. So this is the first portion. Then the sadhana, the second chapter will talk about the principles element, then eligibility for accepting devotional service, pure devotional service free from desire, pure devotional service is self-sufficient and independent, ways to do practice devotional service, and then finally practice devotional service, another full sections of 64 angas. It will be a kind of little detailed one. This entire section, as I mentioned, 9 to almost 12. Okay, 9, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 chapters. The last portion will talk about little bit of Ragatmika bhakti. Raga Anuga is different, Raga Atmika is different. Okay, so start identifying the differences between sadhana bhakti, Ragatmika bhakti, Raga Anuga bhakti. Okay. And finally, you have the Bhava bhakti, and if time permits, we will get into the a little bit things about the Bhava bhakti also. Bhava bhakti and Prema bhakti. But our focus will be mainly on the first section, the sadhana bhakti, Raganuga bhakti, and little bit of the pure devotion service. We may not be able to go very detailed about the Prema bhakti and Bhava bhakti and Ragatmika bhakti, but we'll try to see how to see how. Yes, Prabhu. Any questions? Okay. But I want you to just go through this portion of the manual very thoroughly. Then only you will be able to see where we are and how do we understand. Not just from an exam point of view or just writing the exam, but it is more about getting the knowledge. So that is what is more important. So the contents of Bhakti Rasamrita, as I mentioned, the ocean has got 4 sides. Okay, Guna Bhakti Rasa, Bhagavad Bhakti Dasa, Samanya Bhakti Rasa, and Mukhya Bhakti Dasa. This is the last portion, and then but our focus will be more starting with this Bhagavad Bhakti portion, and to some extent this portion. Okay, we may not be able to go into the details of all the 50 chapters, but to some extent we will try to see. This is how the entire Rupa Goswami's book is covered. Okay, nearly to 51 chapters, but we will cover only certain portions. Okay. But if you are interested, we have Bhanuswami Maharaj's book, which has got full detail, like including all the other chapters from 20 to 51 also it is included. So Purva Vibhaga, Dakshina Vibhaga, Paschima Vibhaga, and Uttara Vibhaga. So based on the direction, it is getting divided. Maybe just go through the initial preface portion, then we will get into. Meanwhile, I'll get some presentation part, then we can get into. Can somebody read Mataji's? Nana Shastra Vichala Vipano. This is a very nice sloka.
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipanau Shaddharma Sansthaphakau Lokanam Hitakaranau Tribhuvane Manyau Surana Manyo Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nande Namattikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau.
Yes, Mataji. Just read the.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Radha, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mode of gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. So we'll read the preface also. It's a short preface. We can quickly read through some sections alone. Yeah. Prabhuji's namely quickly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Preface. The Nectar of Devotion is a summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which was written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. He was the chief of the six Goswamis who were the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he first met Lord Chaitanya, Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada was engaged as a minister in the Mohammedan government of Bengal. He and his brother Sanatan were then named Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, respectively, and then they had responsible posts as ministers of Nawab Hussain Shah. At that time, 500 years ago, this Hindu society was very rigid, and if a member of the Brahmana caste accepted the service of a Mohammedan ruler, he was at once rejected from Brahmana society. That was the position of the two brothers, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. They belonged to the highly situated Saraswat Brahmana community, but they were ostracized due to their acceptance of ministerial posts in the government of Hussain Shah. It is the grace of Lord Chaitanya that he accepted these two exalted personalities as his disciples and raised them to the position of Goswamis, the highest position in Brahminical culture. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya accepted Haridas Thakur as his disciple, although Haridas happened to be born of a Mohammedan family, and Lord Chaitanya later on made him the Acharya of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Should I continue, Prabhu?
Okay, so this is a quick background about them, and we all know this story. I think I don't want to go into the story of how Mahaprabhu met both Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami in Ramkeli, and then afterwards how did they happen. So all those, this is all again in Chaitanya Charitamrita portion. Okay, so the present Krishna consciousness movement is also based on the authority of Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, We therefore are called as Rupa Anugas, or followers in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. Okay, it is only for our guidance Rupa Goswami prepared this book, Bhakti Rasamrita, which is now present in the form of nectar devotion. Okay, Bhakti means this is the main portion that we were trying to understand. Okay. So the devotee realizes the presence of God by devotion service, whereas the atheist realizes the presence of God in the shape of death. At death, everything is finished, and one has to begin a new chapter of life in a new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one. In any field of activity, political, social, national, or international, the result of our actions will be finished within this life. Okay, so this is the difference between the other life and this one. Bhakti Rasamrita means this is eternal and then. Okay. Mataji can read this question. This is a nice question.
Yes, Guruji. The eternal engagement in Bhakti Rasa can be understood by the serious student upon studying the nectar of devotion. Adoption of Bhakti Rasa or Krishna consciousness will immediately bring one to an auspicious life free from anxieties and will bless one with transcendental existence, thus minimizing the value of liberation. Bhakti Rasa itself is sufficient to produce a feeling of liberation because it attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Generally, neophyte devotees are anxious to see Krishna or God, but God cannot be seen or known by our present materially blunt senses. The process of devotional service, as it is recommended in the Nectar of Devotion, will gradually elevate one from the material condition of life to the spiritual status, wherein the devotee becomes purified of all designations. The senses can then become uncontaminated, being constantly in touch with Bhakti Rasa. Should I read all?
It's okay, Mataji. I think this. Just give me 1 second. I'm just logging with another system. Just hold on 1 second.
This meeting is being recorded.
So the first commentary was given by Rupa. First commentary was in detail was given by Jiva Goswami. Okay, and then the second commentary was given by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur from the contemporaries from that age, like after Mahaprabhu's period. Then we had Jiva Goswami who had given a very detailed commentary, and then followed by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur also. So both of them have given their own commentaries, and in the recent years, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also gave, then Prabhupada also gave, and then Bhanuswami Maharaj also has given. But Prabhupada restricted this to only one portion, but Bhanu Maharaj gave the entire thing. Okay, so whatever we see this is Prabhupada's version published, and this one, whatever we see on the right hand side, is Bhanuswami Maharaj. The entire all the oceans. I mean, all the waves. He called as waves or directions or oceans. Okay. So this is how it is being divided. So the eastern wave, the varieties of bhakti, followed by southern, western, and then northern. Okay, so this is primary rasas, secondary rasas, and overview. So even these rasas will be partially covered in the initial portion, in the overview, and then this one. But if you go into this northern side or western side, within the Bhayanaka, for example, Bhayanaka is kind of fear. So within the fear, it will go very detailed about how do we understand that rasa, how do we understand that in the form of bhayanaka rasa as a devotional service. Okay? And there are other, this is madhuri rasa, this primary rasas we can understand. So it is not just at the higher level, but at the very detailed level, it will go inside the chapters. Okay? But our syllabus will cover mostly on this eastern and to some extent this the southern portion alone. Okay, let us see how we can take it up. So these are some of the very specific introductory prayers. Okay, not even introduction or what do you say, high level important slokas. So we'll just go through the slokas and then we can come back to the purport portion of it. Okay, so today we'll just focus on the main portion. Then we can come back to the special portion also. Okay, yeah. Can somebody read the sloka? First sloka. Very important sloka. Okay. Akila Rasamrita Murtihi Prasanmira Ruchiruddha Taraka Falihi Kalita Shamalalito Radha Prayan Vidor Jayati. Okay. So this is how Rupa Goswami starts. So he glorifies Krishna as Akila Rasamrita Murti. Okay. So what is Akila Rasamrita Murti is also very detailed. The very first word Rupa Goswami elaborates so nicely, and then our Acharya is also right. Very first word of the sloka is very elaborately detailedly explained. Okay. So this is the introduction portion. How this Akila Rasamrita Murti is defined. Okay, so Akila Rasamrita Murti is defined as the primary rasa, Shanta rasa, Dasi rasa, Madhu rasa, Shakti rasa, and Vatsa rasa, followed by the secondary rasa. So he is not just not there for one particular kind of rasa, but he is Akila Rasamrita Murti. Whatever we are able to see is in the primary and secondary is combined together. But even beyond that, if there is anything, any kind of rasa that can be identified or observed or brought out, then everything is within this particular Murti, within him. That is a Supreme Vishnu Body. Okay. So this basic fundamental understanding, please have what are the primary rasas, what are the secondary rasas. Okay, what are the primary rasas? Shanta rasa, Dasi rasa, Madhu rasa, Shakti rasa, and Vatsa rasa. So within that also there is the category. Initially it will be with Shanta rasa, and then after that initially everybody will have the Shanta rasa, and after that the direction will go either towards Dasi rasa or Sakya rasa, Vatsa rasa, and Madhu rasa. And Madhu rasa is the topmost. So there is in the Akila Rasamrita Murti, in this portion, the emphasis is not about only one particular primary rasa, but all the rasas together. Okay, this is the fundamental understanding. And secondary rasa also is very important because that also will give us little understanding about how we understand all other wonderful devotees or wonderful characters in Krishna Leela. There are so many wonderful characters in Krishna Leela. So somewhere or other, somebody will be having that particular rasa to a certain extent, and then they will try to follow. Okay. For example, Chanura and Mushtika, Kamsa, Bhishma. There are so many other personalities also, in which how do they bring out that rasa. So that is also important. So why we are trying to understand this first word Akila Rasamrita Murti? Because everything should be connected towards Krishna in center point. Okay. Going forward in the next 6-7 classes, we'll be always talking about rasa, and then bhava, and then this is primary, this is secondary, how it is. So all kind of technical terminologies. Please, this is kind of, for example, max. This is kind of tables and formulas and first fundamental understanding. Okay.
Prabhuji, is this verse there in the book Akila Rasamrita one?
Yes. I'll show you. I'll tell you.
Couldn't find it in the book.
That's what from the main book. Only certain portions have been brought out and then given to us. Okay. So 4 major divisions. And then what we are going to see is only within that east we'll be seeing mostly these 4 waves. Okay, so the directions and then the waves, we'll be focusing on Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava, and Prema. This is how our 19 chapters will be mostly covered. Okay, So Samanya is just the bhakti in general devotion service. Everybody and anybody who is trying to come up at the preliminary stage, at somewhere in the neophyte stage, where they want to just, they are interested, they have some faith, and they want to grow, and that will be at the Samanya stage, followed by certain regulative principles, certain procedures. They regularly start doing certain things. That will be in sadhana. They will be initiated also, and then the bhava, and then the prema portion. And these are some of the important slokas. We'll get into the slokas also. Okay, this sloka is also very important sloka. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena krishna anusilanam krishna anusilanam bhaktir uttam. Krishna anusilam. So what is, today we are going to see only the definitions, not going into the purport portion, but I will strongly recommend as a homework, each of the slokas, go back and then read through the purport also. Which is very important. So how this particular sloka, the definition of bhakti, the first definition of bhakti is divided is this way. Okay, Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena krishna anusilanam bhaktir uttama. Okay, if you go from the reverse, what is bhaktir uttama is krishna anusilanam anukulyena portion, and then jnana karmadi anavritam anya bilashita shunyam. So that is how it is like kind of segregated. Okay? So if you see from the purport also, how it is defined is Krishna Anusilam comes first. Okay. So Uttama Bhakti, or the definition of a Bhakti, is based on Krishna Anusilam. Okay, that endeavor or that activity, that portion which will please Krishna, Krishna Anusilanam, is called as Uttama Bhakti. Okay. So the first definition is Krishna Anusilanam. What is Krishna Anusilanam? Is the way by which the endeavor that intends to please Krishna. So whatever endeavor, whatever action, whatever thinking, whatever feeling, whatever thing that is intended to please Krishna, with a very sincere heart, with complete faith, with complete devotion, is Uttama Bhakti. So which means what? Are we all immediately at the Uttama Bhakti? No. It will have a lot of other contaminations, with a lot of other internal limitations, internal understanding and all, which will take some more time, some more cycles, some more concentrated way of repeated transformation and cleaning. Then you will get the pure or the highest Uttama portion. But from a typical devotional service definition, it is the endeavor. Clear? Any doubt?
All good, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in the previous slide you mentioned the 4 levels in the Eastern Ocean, right? So you mentioned the bhava and bhakti. So basically without initiation we can't get to the bhava and prema stage, right? It's only till the sadhana we can remain, right? Samanya and sadhana.
Yes, because see, initiation is where your eternal position is identified, where how you are eternally connected with the Lord through the acharya. Okay, acharyas may be at the Manjari stage or at the Gopi stage, or from the Varishta Gopis. There might be, or the Gopas, whatever be it, they might be eternally serving them. So for us to go back and then attach to or go back to our eternal position, that requires the direction, and that requires some kind of a guidance. So that is why initiation is kind of a way or a means by which we'll be able to get to that. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So sadhana bhakti is 99% sadhana by all the initiated, even second initiated also, Brahmana initiated also will fall under only sadhana bhakti. Okay, there's no doubt about it. So the sadhana bhakti will give the way by which we can taste the bhava and prema. Okay? But somebody will try to say, I will try to directly do bhava bhakti prema. That is the foolishness. Okay, so that is why we need to follow our acharyas. Acharyas all followed the same way only. So everybody followed from the samanya to sadhana, and then to bhava, and then prema. So this I think we have already covered. Okay, so how do we understand the prayojana, abhidaya, and sambandha? Okay, so how the pure soul loves God, prayojana portion. Okay, so from an acharya perspective, Rupa Goswami demonstrated that, and prayojana is the outcome. Abhidaya is how to please, like what are the ways and means by which are we able to please the God, and sambandha is the initial portion. So from the bottom to top is Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana. Okay. Even though it is like Prayojana, Abhidaya, Sambandha, how do you see it? Is from the bottom to the top. First the Sambandha portion, followed by the Abhidaya, and then the Prayojana. So this I think we have already covered in detail. I think this also we will cover in coming slokas. Okay. I think this also we have touched upon somewhere in the Bhakti in the Bhagavad Gita portion, but this also we will try to see how we can. Okay. I think I'll stop there. From here it will be Klesha Agni Subhada. These are some of the important slokas, and then we'll go into the portion. I will share this presentation also. This is very important one. Where how do you understand the sloka portion, and then how do we get from Bhagavatam also? Okay, so those things are also being given there. So I will share this so that you will be able to understand how we can. Okay. So I'll be telling you this like kind of this portion or this syllabus might look little dry and look little philosophical or little way, but my recommendation is try to get the abstract content of it. Okay. Oh, this is what it is. This then how do we? Why? After some years, when you want to preach or when you want to talk about somebody with a little bit higher philosophical understanding, then nectar of devotion is very important. Not at the preliminary stage, but little more detailed stage to show how deep is our philosophy. Somebody will just say, oh, ISKCON Krishna consciousness is just only following only Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is only just, if somebody is reading at a Bhagavatam, it is just only prayer book or only story book or a lot of other leelas. No. Okay. So that is why, in one sense, our philosophical knowledge, understanding is provided by our acharyas is very, very deep. Okay. It's not just at a preliminary level or something which everybody and anybody can get. Okay. So that is why from a Bhakti Shastri perspective, this is recommended. Okay, clear? Okay, I'll stop here in this portion. So there are some specific slokas also, very nice portion. So we will try to see how we can follow this. And this is also a nice version. Okay, so this will be just give you like how do we stand. Okay. What is sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti? Sadhana bhakti will have two definitions. One is the raganuga bhakti and vaidhi sadhana bhakti. So what is the understanding is, all your kleshagni, all your sufferings will go away. You will get auspiciousness, but that doesn't mean that you will get bhava and prema. Okay, so from sadhana bhakti, if you see how cumulatively it is progressing, bhava bhakti will remove all the sufferings, will bestow auspiciousness, will not worry about liberation. All your muktis will become whatever be in way or within the mukti itself, whatever be the salukya, sarupya, sarashti, samibhya, whatever be it, everything will be like kind of nothing, and then very, very rare. Okay. And then from a bhava, then when it moves to prema, then the difference is the condensed bliss. So bliss, you will start getting it in the stage itself. In this stage itself, you will start getting the bliss portion. However, the condensed portion is at the prema level, and then that attracts Krishna. Okay. So does it mean that these things doesn't attract Krishna? Yes, all these things attract Krishna, but from the prema portion, Krishna will be completely surrendered. Krishna will be like you will start commanding Krishna. So that is at the highest stage of the attraction towards at the prema level. Okay. So 1, 2, then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Rupa Goswami gives each and every particular portion a very detailed understanding. So that is why it is called as Anukramat. Okay? Anukramat is nothing but a sequential development. Just a little attraction will make the truth bhakti understandable. Okay, not intelligence alone. Okay, why? Because intelligence is not stable. So that is why when we read Bhagavad Gita, we saw that we need to do karma. We need to do karma with Krishna consciousness, which requires knowledge, and then knowledge with karma is the stepping stone for bhakti. But at the same time, when you start understanding that with the relationship with the Lord, slowly the sadhana will change into bhava, and then. So this is how this will get into that. Okay, I'll stop there. This itself will be like a little too much, right? Yes, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Long way to go, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so it's okay. We will just go through the primary portions. Okay. The nectar of devotion is specifically present for persons who are now engaged in Krishna conscious movement. I beg to offer my sincere strength to all the friends and devotees. Okay, so this is how Prabhupada defines this. So he wrote in 1970. So in the preface also, whatever we have covered is what we have seen through the slide also. Okay, nothing very Amrita. Okay, what is Amrita portion? Nana Shastra Vedanam we have seen. The 6 Goswamis also we have seen. Okay. So what is the contribution of the acharyas is what Prabhupada is trying. So our acharyas just didn't write, just didn't. So they did a lot of research, a lot of activities to bring out this portion. So why it is like compared to why it is like from Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Upanishads, everything. So are they alone the great revealed scriptures? This Bhakti Rasamrita Sindu is also a big revealed scripture. Okay. Why? Because they went through all the Vedic literature, they brought out the evidences and then gave that. Yes. The nectar of devotion teaches all men how to perform the simple natural method of loving Krishna, the Supreme Personal God. If you learn how to love Krishna, then it is very easy to immediately and simultaneously love every living being. Okay. So let's get into one of these slokas, then it will be easy for us. I think this is the introduction portion. You can go through the introduction portion. Should we go through the introduction? This is also very important points. There are some specific introduction points which is very important. That's what I'm just thinking. Or let's get into sloka itself. These characteristics. We will start with pure devotion study. How do we understand? Maybe we'll go through introduction quickly. I think that we will cover today, so that at least everybody will be able to. Yeah, each of you can just quickly read through the paras. Okay, I don't have to call each of you. You just keep reading. Okay. Yeah.
Invoking auspiciousness, Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the reservoir of all rasas or relationships, which are called neutrality, passive adoration, servitorship, friendship, parenthood, conjugal love, comedy, compassion, fear, chivalry, ghastliness, wonder, and devastation. He is the supreme attractive form, and by his universal and transcendental attractive features, he has captivated all the gopis, headed by Tarka, Palika, Shama, Lalita, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. Let his lordship's grace be on us that there may not be any hindrance in the execution of this duty of writing the nectar of devotion, impelled by his divine grace, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada and of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose inspiration I have been engaged in the matter of compiling this summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the sublime science of devotional service as propounded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared 500 years ago in West Bengal, India, to propagate the movement of Krishna consciousness.
Srila Rupa Goswami begins his great book by offering his respectful obeisance unto Sri, who is his elder brother and spiritual master. And he prays that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu may be very pleasing to him. He further prays that by residing in that ocean of nectar, Sri Sanatan Goswami may always feel transcendental pleasure in the service of Radha and Krishna.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the great devotees and acharyas holy teachers, who are compared to sharks in the great ocean of nectar and who do not care for the various rivers of liberation. Impersonalists are very fond of merging into the supreme, like rivers that come down and merge into the ocean. The ocean can be compared to liberation and the rivers to all the different paths of liberation. The impersonalists are dwelling in the river water, which eventually come to mix with the ocean. They have no information, however, that within the ocean, as within the river, there are innumerable aquatic living entities. The sharks who dwell in the ocean do not care for the river that are gliding down into it. The devotee eternally live in the ocean of devotional service and they do not care for the rivers. In other words, those who are pure devotees always remain in the ocean of transcendental loving service to the Lord and have no business with other processes, which are compared to the rivers that only gradually come to the ocean. So if you can move the downward. Srila Rup, yeah.
Srila Rupa Goswami prays to his spiritual master, Srila Sanatan Goswami, for the protection of Bhakti Rasamrita, Sindhu, the ocean of the pure nectar of devotional service, from the argumentative logicians who unnecessarily meddle in the science of service to the Lord. He compares their arguments and logic to volcanic eruptions in the midst of the ocean. In the midst of the ocean, volcanic eruption can do very little harm. And similarly, those who are against devotional service to the Lord and who put forward many philosophical theses about the ultimate transcendental realization cannot disturb this great ocean of devotional service.
The author of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami, very humbly submits that he is just trying to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, although he humbly thinks himself unfit for this work. That should be the attitude of all the preachers of the Krishna consciousness movement following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami. We should never think of ourselves as a great preachers, but should always consider that we are simply instrumental in the previous to the previous acharyas, and simply by following in their footsteps we may be able to do something for the benefit of suffering humanity.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is divided into 4 parts, just as the ocean is sometimes divided into 4 parts, and there are different sections within each of these 4 divisions. Originally in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the ocean is divided like the watery ocean into east, south, west, and north, while the subsections within these different divisions are called waves. As in the ocean, there are always different waves, either on the eastern side, the southern side, the western side, or the northern side. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu similarly has different waves. In the first part, there are 4 waves. The first being a general description of devotional service. The second concerns the regulative principles of executing devotional service. And the third wave, devotional service in ecstasy. In the fourth is the ultimate goal, love of God. These will be explicitly described along with their different symptoms.
The authorized descriptions of bhakti or devotional service following in the footsteps of previous acharyas can be summarized in the following statement by Srila Rupa Goswami. First-class devotional service is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably. The purport is that one may also be in Krishna consciousness unfavorably, but that cannot be counted as pure devotional service. Pure devotional service should be free from the desire for any material benefit or for sense gratification, as these desires are cultivated through fruitive activities and philosophical speculation. Generally, people are engaged in different activities to get some material profit. While most philosophers are engaged in proposing transcendental realization through volumes of word jugglery and speculation, pure devotional service must always be free from such fruitive activities and philosophical speculations. One has to learn Krishna consciousness or pure devotional service from the authorities by spontaneous loving service.
This devotional service is a sort of cultivation. It is not simply inaction for people who like to be inactive or devote their time to silent meditation. There are many different methods for people who want this, but cultivation of Krishna consciousness is different. The particular word used by Srila Rupa Goswami in this connection is anushilana, or cultivation by following the predecessors' teachers, acharyas. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us. All activities may be divided into two classes. One class may be for achieving a certain goal, and the other may be for avoiding some unfavorable circumstance. In Sanskrit, these activities are called pravritti and nivritti, positive and negative action. There are many examples of negative action. For instance, a diseased person has to be cautious and take medicine in order to avoid some unfavorable illness.
Those who are cultivating a spiritual life and executing devotional service are always engaged in activity. Thus, such activity can be performed with the body or with the mind. Thinking, feeling, and willing are all activities of the mind. And when we will to do something, the activity comes to be manifest by the gross bodily senses. Thus, in our mental activities, we should always try to think of Krishna and try to plan how to please him, following in the footsteps of great acharyas and the personal spiritual master. These are activities of the body, activities of the mind, and activities of speech. A Krishna conscious person engages his words in preaching and the glories of the Lord. This is called Kirtan, and by his mind, a Krishna conscious person always thinks of the activities of the Lord as he is speaking on the battlefield of Kurukshetra or engaging in his various pastimes in Vrindavan with his devotees. In this way, one can always think of the activities and pastimes of the Lord. This is the mental culture of Krishna consciousness.
Similarly, we can offer many services with our bodily activities, but all such activities must be in relationship with Krishna. This relationship is established by connecting oneself with the bona fide spiritual master, who is the direct representative of Krishna in disciplic succession. Therefore, the execution of Krishna conscious activities with the body should be directed by the spiritual master and then performed with faith. The connection with the spiritual master is called initiation. From the date of initiation by the spiritual master, the connection between Krishna and a person cultivating Krishna consciousness is established. Without initiation by a bona fide spiritual master, the actual connection with Krishna consciousness is never performed.
This cultivation of Krishna. Yes,
Mahesh Prabhu, this answers your question. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
There
Hare
always
Krishna.
Prabhupada listens to all our questions and he will answer it. Okay.
This cultivation of Krishna consciousness is not material. The Lord has three general energies, namely the external energy, the internal energy, and the marginal energy. The living entities are called marginal energy, and the material cosmic manifestation is the action of the external or material energy. Then there is the spiritual world, which is manifestation of the internal energy. The living entities who are called marginal energy perform material activities when acting under the inferior external energy. And when they engage in activities under the internal spiritual energy, their activities are called Krishna conscious. This means that those who are great souls or great devotees do not act under the spell of material energy, but act instead under the protection of the spiritual energy. Any activities done in devotional service or in Krishna consciousness are directly under the control of spiritual energy. In other words, energy is a sort of strength And this strength can be spiritualized by the mercy of both the bona fide spiritual master and Krishna.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Lord Chaitanya states that it is a fortunate person who comes in contact with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. One who is serious about spiritual life is given by Krishna the intelligence to come in contact with a bona fide spiritual master. And then, by the grace of the spiritual master, one becomes advanced in Krishna consciousness. In this way, the whole jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness is directly under the spiritual energy, Krishna and the spiritual world. This has nothing to do with the material world. When we speak of Krishna, we refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead along with his many expansions. He is expanded by his plenary parts and parcels, his differentiated parts and parcels, and his different energies, Krishna. In other words, means everything and includes everything. Generally, however, we should understand Krishna to mean Krishna and his personal expansions. Krishna expands himself as Baladev, Sankarshana, Vasudev, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha, as well as many other incarnations and innumerable Vishnu expansions. These are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam to be as numerous as the uncountable waves. So Krishna includes all such expansions as well as his pure devotees. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Krishna's expansions are all complete in eternity, blissfulness, and cognizance. Hare Krishna.
Devotional service means to prosecute Krishna conscious activities that are favorable to the transcendental pleasure of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and any activities that are not favorable to the transcendental favor of the Lord cannot be accepted as devotional service. For example, great demons like Ravana, Kamsa, and Hiranyakashipu were always thinking of Krishna, but they were thinking of him as their enemy. This sort of thinking cannot be accepted as bhakti or Krishna consciousness.
The impersonalists sometimes misunderstand devotional service in such a way that they divide Krishna from his paraphernalia and pastime. For example, the Bhagavad Gita is spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the impersonalists say that although Krishna is of interest, the battlefield of Kurukshetra isn't. The devotees, however, also know that the battlefield of Kurukshetra by itself has nothing to do with their business. But in addition, they know that Krishna does not mean just Krishna alone. He is always with his associates and paraphernalia. For instance, if someone says, give something to eat to the man with the weapons, the eating process is done by the man and not by the weapons. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, a devotee may be interested in the paraphernalia and locations, such as the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which are associated with Krishna. But he is not concerned with simply any battlefield. He is concerned with Krishna, his speech, his instructions, etc. It is because Krishna is there that the battlefield is so important.
This is a summary.
Yes, Gaurav, go ahead.
This is a summary understanding of what Krishna consciousness is. Without this understanding, one is sure to misunderstand why the devotees are interested in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. One who is interested in Krishna becomes interested in his different pastimes and activities. The definition of a pure devotee, as given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, can be summarized thus: his service is favorable and is always in relation to Krishna. In order to keep the purity of such Krishna conscious activities, one must be freed from all the desires, and philosophical speculation. Any desire except for the service of the Lord is called material desire. And philosophical speculation refers to the sort of speculation that ultimately arrives at a conclusion of voidism or impersonalism.
Yeah, last two sloka. Para somebody else can read.
Karma or fruitive activities are sometimes understood to be ritualistic activities. There are many persons who are very much attracted by the ritualistic activities described in the Vedas. But if one becomes attracted simply by ritualistic activities without understanding Krishna, his activities are unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Actually, Krishna consciousness can be based simply on hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. Described in the Srimad Bhagavatam are 9 different processes, besides which everything done is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Thus, one should always be guarding against fall downs.
Srila Rupa Goswami has also mentioned in this definition of bhakti the word jnana karmadi. This karmadi, or fruitive work, consists of activities that are unable to help one attain to pure devotional service. Many forms of so-called renunciations are also not favorable to Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami has also quoted a definition that the Narada Pancharatra as follows. One should be free from all material designations, and by Krishna consciousness, one must be cleansed of all material contamination. He should be restored to his pure identity, in which he engages his senses in the service of the perpetrators of the senses. So when our senses are engaged for the actual proprietor of the senses, that is called devotional service. In other conditional state, our senses are engaged in serving these bodily demands. When the same senses are engaged in executing the order of Krishna, our activities are called bhakti.
As long as one identifies himself as belonging to a certain family, a certain society, or a certain person, he is said to be covered with designations. When one is fully aware that he does not belong to any family, society, or country, but is eternally related to Krishna, he then realizes that his energy should be employed not in the interest of the so-called family, society, or country, but in the interests of Krishna. This is purity of purpose and platform of pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Hari Bol.
Okay. Yeah, I think few hands raised. So introduction itself is very heavy. Okay. So whatever you're able to assimilate, whatever you're able to churn, just go back and then we can move through. Okay. Yeah, Adi Gayatri Mataji, you have.
Prabhuji, yes, could you just clarify on the Jnana Karmadi part?
So what is Jnana Karmadi? So knowledge with action. But however, that has to be more thoroughly understood. That is what Rupa Goswami is trying to understand. You have to perform action with the knowledge portion. But within that knowledge portion itself, it is two divided, which is Jnana Karma, the Anusilam, and then which is not Anukulyam, like Pratikulyam, Anukulyam. So the power of discrimination between which is favorable, which is not favorable is determined through knowledge, and that will, based on that, you perform action. Okay, so that is what is the first thing that what Rupa Goswami is trying to give us, that Jnana Karma. So it is very important that we need to bring out that understanding very clearly. So we go to the sloka little later, maybe next class or after that class. Then there is a specific section in which it will talk little more detail about that. Okay.
Thank you.
So Srinivas Acharya gave this Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Okay, Prabhupada's favorite one. Gora, just hold on. I think Mataji asked something, so I'll just share. This is also a nice one. Okay? If somebody gets time, I think Riya Mataji was asking where is that, right? So I'll just. So if you read through this Shad Goswami Ashtakam, okay, Prabhupada's favorite one. Krishna Kirtana Gana Natra. So you read this, right? You might have heard this Prabhupada singing this. Yes, correct? Vande Rupa Sanatano. Right? Yes? We heard or
Yes,
not?
yes,
So the second
Prabhupada,
sloka
we
is
heard from
this one.
Prabhupada.
The second one is this Nana Shastra Vichara Nipunam Sadharma Sampitam. Okay. Every sloka in every sloka in this 8 song, the portion is very nice. Okay. So Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghudendam Shri Jiva Gopala. This is what Srinivas Acharya glorifies the Shad Goswamis. And Prabhupada and Avaracharyas have taken out that particular second sloka just to glorify this Bhakti Rasamrita. Okay. So how is the book is divided is, for example, if you see through the through Bhakti through the Veda base, the Veda base will not have any slokas. Okay. However, in the online version, I just downloaded this book. Okay, this is the I don't know how I will share this. This is kind of little 8 MB book. Okay, so this is online PDF, which will have the sloka and the understanding also. So whatever presentation I'm trying to show you is the condensed form of this book. Okay, this book is 107 pages PDF. Okay, I'll try to send it. I'll try to share this book also. So this book is only the one portion of the 4 main books. Okay, so it is only the first wave. Then we have the other big sections. So our syllabus also will be mostly within this the 107 pages, but also within that also we try to condense certain sections alone. Okay, not going into the specific. So this PDF will talk about, will have the content and the sloka also. If you go through Veda base, you will not find the sloka. Okay, it will just say chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and then Prabhupada gives the commentary portion of it. So you can decide and let me know, not today, maybe tomorrow or later on. So should we go through only the commentary portion of Prabhupada and just that is enough, Prabhu? We don't want to go into the sloka portion. We don't want to. That is okay. Or if you want, no. This is the opportunity. We will try to learn. We'll see what is that sloka and all. So then we will go to the sloka also. For example, but Bhakti Rasamrita Murti. So this is what I was just telling you. Okay. So the first sloka of Bhakti Rasamrita sloka, and every word of the sloka is getting defined. So if you go through that at a higher level, then there are other slokas also will come.
This detailed part is not in the exam, right?
No. Don't
If
worry.
it is not in the exam, then yeah, it's good if you could share.
Yeah. Okay. So it is for your knowledge later on. Sometime one day or the other, you will also start teaching. Then at that point of time, you should know.
Okay. I think it's good because it also gives the English meaning of the verses, so we can understand what is it that we are reading.
Yeah. So what I have done is, out of this 107 pages, I've just condensed it into some 30-40 slides. So we'll just focus on that alone, and then we can pass through the exam. Okay. So Adiyatri, you can read this portion. What are the endeavors? You are asking Jnana Karma the Anavritam, right? So what are the other endeavors? Rupa Swami mentions cultivation knowledge, secular release endeavors, professional. Okay, so this is together. I'll share this portion. You can understand much more.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Then I will stop that portion. Then Gaura raised his hand. Gaura, you have a point or?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
My question is that if I understood about Kamsa because they were the Jaya and Vijaya, so Krishna liberated them fast. But the other demons that Kamsa sent, even though they were like not any devotees in the past or anything, how were they liberated when Krishna killed them?
See, Krishna, it is two ways our acharyas say. It is not that all of them are liberated, but because they had a direct connection, because they have a direct fighting or a direct way of touching Krishna or performing certain things. So Krishna gives them the mercy. Krishna gives him the mercy by which they get liberated. That's all. So it is Krishna's decision or Krishna's will to give them mercy, liberation. One point. Second point, they are participating or they are acting in this particular leela as a demon or as a particular this one. So that is also in one way the Krishna's mercy flowing into them. So in that way also they are getting liberated. So sometimes Krishna will decide, okay, let this demon come and do this, then I will give them liberation. Then that accordingly they will be liberated also.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Because for example, Putana's brother, who's Putana's brother? Two brothers. So the entire family Krishna wanted to liberate.
Bakasur and Agasur.
Bakasur, Agasur. There's a village from Madhuban. If you go, there's a village called Kechri village. So in that village only, this Putana, everybody came. So what is this? After question and answer, page number. There is a gradual progress path shown on film. Yeah, no, Mirabai was initiated. If you read through Mirabai's story, Mirabai's guru, Mirabai herself declares Rupa Goswami as her acharya. Okay, if you read through the history of the life of Mirabai declares Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami as her spiritual masters. Even though you don't see from the other this one, those the acharyas who were there in Vrindavan, they have given initiations not directly as just coming sitting and then doing mantralization, but somebody follow and then take. So Mirabai specifically mentions in one of her this one also that she is the disciple or her acharya is Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So related to initiation, another question is direct disciple like Arjuna or indirect disciple like Ekalavya. So okay. So initiation is via acharya. Okay, so that is a big difference. So Krishna doesn't give initiation, and Krishna does not need to give initiation. Sorry, it's heavy rain. 1 second. Initiation is some kind of a license or a badge or an authority provided at the secondary level or third or at the next levels through the acharya to go into to do this one. Okay, but if they have a direct connection with Krishna like Arjuna and so many other persons, then there is no point like of getting into the way of called as initiation. They are like directly into the touch of Krishna. Okay. For example, the great acharyas who descended, like for example, Madhavendra Puri, Madhvacharya, they're all eternally Nitya Siddhas. Okay, so they come down in under the instruction of Krishna to initiate to do those things. So whether are they this one? Definitely from Brahma, from the disciplic succession, they have come down. So they will do this activity, then they will go back. That's all.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes,
Sorry,
yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I just have one question, like how to understand, there is one part where there could be some persons who are Krishna consciousness, but acting unfavorably. I know from examples we can say Kamsa, but to our realistic understanding, how to understand this?
Prabhupada mentions, no, so that is not real Krishna consciousness. Even though they are in the so-called thinking about Krishna in a different rasa or a different way, Prabhupada's definition of Krishna consciousness is more of sadhana bhakti and practicing devotion service only. It is not about taking up a particular character role and then, okay, I will think about Krishna, then that is, no, Krishna. Prabhupada doesn't recommend that particular question. So that is why we don't think about having in that kind of a rasa, in the secondary rasas.
Okay,
They are not actually Krishna conscious. They are the word, even in the little understanding, Krishna conscious means devotion service. It's not thinking always thinking about Krishna. Say I can always think about Krishna, but in a different way means then it is of no use, right? So Krishna conscious means how do I please Krishna always? That is Krishna consciousness.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thanks.
For example, Krishna, I also give this example. No? Prabhupada also gives this example. Krishna, this one, Krishna stores means the word Krishna means immediately that will attract, I'll get. But stores, it starts attracting to you, then it means then we are still in that particular level only. Okay. In the introduction itself, Prabhupada mentions about that portion also. Battle of Kurukshetra. This is the example. Like one who is in Krishna, anything related to Krishna, we will be attracted. Okay, not because of that it is a battlefield, it is a violence in this one, but because it is Krishna's presence, Krishna is there, definitely I will take up that one. Okay, Krishna and his paraphernalia and the locations. That is why anywhere and everywhere, whichever place we are trying to see Krishna consciousness related activity, then we will just grasp it. So it is because Krishna is there, then that battlefield that he is also important. That's all.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So they were thinking him as an enemy. So that is why. See, even now also, Prabhupada tells all the atheists are still thinking about the Krishna or about the Lord only, but as what? Non-believer of him. Okay. Oh, I won't believe Krishna. I won't believe Krishna. I won't believe Krishna. So that is what they want. Sarvasachaham Ritisannivashta Matas Smritanyanam Apohanam Cha. So that is what they want, that forgetfulness. So Krishna is giving that. But that doesn't mean that they are Krishna conscious or they are bhaktas. Yes, Ajay Prabhu.
Prabhu, I mean, yeah, people who they keep remembering in Krishna in a negative sense. That means the way we know that they basically say we don't want Krishna, but they are constantly taking his name. Even then, at that stage, they are not Krishna conscious, but they are still getting the sukriti or the punya of whatever they are doing. So that is basically accumulating for them. So that is the way to understand.
Yeah, it is accumulating, but at the same time, if they do a lot of papa karma, they do this, then whatever it will not balance actually. So it is not like at some point of the time, if there is a divine intervention of any acharya or any senior devotee, then that sukriti will be triggered. Okay. But otherwise, yes, there is no use. Yeah, in one sense, yes, it will add. It will definitely somewhere or other it will be there. But that spark is required. Okay.
Is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I've not read, but one of the YouTube thing they were talking about that in one place they were saying that I mean they get liberated because of they keep chanting Haram Haram. So in that there is Ram. So I was just trying to relate it in that sense.
And we will stop here today. Okay, what was our learning objective? That Bhakti Rasamrita Sindu, we have to understand what is that word. Our experience of releasing eternal rasa with Krishna consciousness. significance of Rupa Goswami, we are able to understand. Identify Prabhupada's purpose in nectar of devotion. So we can also do that. I think we have already understood Bhakti Rasamrita, I mean, Atla Rasamrita Murti. This portion we have already seen. So at least the initial portion we can understand. Vrindavan Krishna. This portion we have seen Purva Vibaha, Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti we have seen.
And the screen is different, Prabhu.
Sorry. Oh. No, I'm just trying to conclude. Okay.
Yes.
Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. Krishna is the Supreme Wisdom Godhead, the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. There are 12 rasas, primarily 6 rasas and secondary 6 rasas. So any rasa, Krishna is ready to respond to any rasa you want to deal with Krishna. That is Krishna's position. Explain the term Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Every 4 words are there. Okay. So we should know what is this Bhakti Rasam. What is the definition of Bhakti?
Devotional service.
Fantastic. Oh, you have to go into the little more detailed thing. Okay. So any action that you try to, that pleases Krishna is devotion service. That is intended to please Krishna is Bhakti. Okay. So what is devotional service? Any action that is intended to please Krishna is devotion service or Bhakti. Okay. Don't simply say devotion service. Rasa Amrita Murti, that question we have already seen. Discussed our experience of relishing eternal Krishna consciousness. We have discussed the significance of Rupa Goswami. Identify Prabhupada's purpose. We have gone through nectar of devotion and discussed the relevance. This portion also we have covered. Explain the objective of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu with reference to Vrindavan Krishna. Okay, so Vrindavan Krishna alone. So what is the difference? Vrindavan alone Krishna, the Sham Sundara alone will give all the 12 rasas. Okay, the Dwarka Krishna also may not be able to give all the 12 rasas. Yes, Dwarka Krishna can give some portion of the 12 rasas, but not all the 12 rasas. Okay. Yeah, please read this quickly.
Our philosophy is not to mix up with the water superficially, but enter into the water and live there like fish, big fish. But if you remain superficially on the water, then you will be evaporated again and again, thrown outside, come as river. Your coming and going, representation of birth and death will not stop. One should become a big fish. There is no evaporation. So don't be misled by this Mayavad philosophy that you fall into the water. These things are explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna.
So when you become a big fish, what does it mean? You don't be at the top layer level. What do? You go
deep into the ocean.
So when you go into the deep, there will not be any waves, there will not be any turbulence, this and all. You'll be always very deep, and then you will be able to enjoy whatever you want. Okay. Whenever it is on the top only, you'll have a lot of other because of Maya's influence, because of Maya, the influence, so many things will be at the top. So that is why we have to see that we go a little bit. Rupa is mentioning fish, big fish. Okay. Let's stop here. Okay. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava ki jai. So we just touched upon today Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu's initial understanding, Rupa Goswami's understanding, what are the different 4 types of waves, and within that 4 waves, what is the main portion that we will cover, our syllabus, what we will try to see from the portion of the course. Okay, unit. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So I'll
Hare
try to
Krishna,
share the PPT, sorry, the 107 page PDF. So we can go through the sloka also and then touch upon the important sections.
Prabhuji, can I check if you have uploaded last week's classes?
Yes. I think so. Wait. NOI, right? NOI last will be this one, last part 1. So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, and then last part will be part 1 and part 2. I think there was some break. I think it got missed out. I think it is there. Okay.
Prabhuji, can you just share the link? Because the link that I'm clicking is showing me the whole folder is empty. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, I will share.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shila
Hare
Prabhupada ki jai, Anandapuri Vaishnava ki jai.
Hare
Tomorrow
Krishna.
class will be at the same time, na
Same
Prabhuji?
time we will give. Is it okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yeah, I know you are sacrificing your afternoon, Sunday, Saturday afternoon, but that is all you have to see.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Okay,
Prabhu.
thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.